Hi everyone, hope you are all doing well. Welcome to Yoke's Talk English. Thank you so much for supporting my videos. If any of you looking for a Telugu videos, obviously you can find in my another channel, Yoke's Talk. Today, what we're going to discuss is like students coming to USA in 2025 is what they are not. So the answer is yes and no. So why yes and no? It's a confusing question at this moment in time. So we will discuss both options. One student visa rejection rate is almost 41% this year, and comparative 2019 to 2023, there was a 65% of approval rate and around 30-35% of actually denial rate. But this year it is very gone high, and since Trump taken over, there are a lot of rejections, and I mean there are some rejections happened during the Biden time as well. But now most of the students they might lose interest to come into United States. But is it still worth to come to United States? Okay, let's discuss. No, why no? Because there are no jobs at the moment for students unless you have very good skill and you come out of a very good university. There is a very better chance of getting a visa. After your graduation, you might get a OPT or STEM OPT. You can do some jobs, but a lot of companies are not interested to apply H1 for you. At the same time, most of the companies are backing down even to provide a OPT as well, optional practical training. So in these situations, students are really struggling. Another thing is like you cannot do part-time jobs. Obviously, you are not allowed to do the part-time jobs, but in the Biden administration, a lot of students were doing part-time jobs. And in university, you can do part-time job that is only 20 hours. Comparative outside, it's hard to get a job in university because there are a lot of competition. Chances of getting job in university is very low, and you cannot do part-time jobs. And getting H1B or OPT and finding a job is very uncertain at the moment. So, I mean, there are a lot of students actually aspiring to come to United States every year, and they want to pursue their masters and get a job in good companies and want to settle down in their life. But the situations are a bit tougher at the moment. Actually, immigration crackdowns are going on, and a lot of students illegally staying back in United States. That's also have a lot of impact on the students coming to the United States now, because there is a too much scrutiny, and these ICE officers and CBP officers are checking thoroughly. I mean, they are checking your financial funds heavily, and if you are not financially well off, hard to get a visa, and there are so many hurdles for the student to get a visa and land in the United States. Though you land in United States, I mean, making money is very difficult at this situation. Like you have to depend on your own funds or bank loans. If it is a very middle class family or a lower grade family, it's very hard to survive. You have to bring money from back home to survive. So I know that is a bit hard for any students. Generally, most of the students will think once we get there, we can make some part-time money to pay our tuition fees or some sort of income, like you can just do. But that is not possible at the moment because of the Trump administration is really cracking down on immigration. So, no is the answer. If you can wait for a while, maybe this year, leave it for this year, maybe next year, if you can try, there may be a chance of bit more scrutiny goes down, and then some jobs will release. And even H1B holders as well. Not many companies are sponsoring H1B for students. The reason is, I mean, so many companies have done a lot of silly things in the past, and they don't want to get caught at this time by processing H1B for the students. There are a lot of H1B rejections also happening, and site visits is going on. At this moment, I think it's really uncertain to come to United States to study your masters. Okay. The next thing what we discuss is, yes, you can still come to United States in 2025, but providing you have a placement in a very good university, top university like MIT, Harvard. There are some universities, if you graduate from that universities, you come out of the universities, obviously you will get a job because they are top rated universities. So if you can afford to pay fees in Harvard University or MIT University or some New York universities, or I mean in these top rated universities, without working part time, because as I said before, you're not allowed to work part time outside. In university you may find the jobs under the professor or some college canteens, or some, I mean in any job you can do inside the university, nobody's going to touch you, that to 20 hours during your college time, and 40 hours maybe in holidays you can do it. So you will have to pay for your accommodation, you will have to pay for your college fees, and you have to afford those high fees, but you will get returns if you sit down and study properly and pay the high fees. Obviously once you come out of the universities, there are some companies that hire you easily because of the university standards are very high and your skills are going to be very high. So you have to do a skill update along with your master's course. So that is a very good chance. If you study in a top rated university, means like you have to prepare for funds. I mean, middle class family, I don't know how can we afford those money. Like you can take a bank loan for your fees, but at the same time, what about your expenses? Your expenses cannot be covered by your part-time jobs unless you find a part-time job in the university. Imagine you did not find a part-time job in a university. What you can do? You will have to get the money from back home from your parents. So it is a big trouble for the parents to send every month $1,000, 1,000 or 1,050, or some places maybe $700, 800, depend on the place where you live and your travel and your expenses. So it's very difficult. If you cross that hurdle and you completed your masters from these top rated universities, obviously there is a high chance of getting OPT, high chance of getting, after the OPT you still have another 2 years of STEM OPT. So in between, in 3 years, you have a very good chance of applying H1B because there are low competition at this moment for the H1B. Since the Trump government has taken over, there are a lot of crackdown is going on the students as well, because of the students are illegally staying in America. That's what the Trump is saying. You know why that happens? Because a lot of students aim to go there and want to make money on part-time jobs. They are literally not interested to study. They're finding some sort of corner university. They're paying some very low fees, getting the visa, landing in America. They're concentrating on part-time jobs. They don't care about the studies. Because of this reason, any good student wanted to do a MS, having a trouble now getting a visa. Either way, if you are a very skilled student, or like you have very good goal to go to America and you think you can survive, obviously yes, there is always a chance. Why? Because America is a very big country. There are a lot of opportunities. So that is a really big land for opportunities compared to other countries like UK, Europe. So if you have a skill, you can find a job easily in America. But in UK or Europe, it's hard to find a job. There is no much productivity in UK and Europe like compared to America. America is technically very advanced. Day by day, it is growing. So the really good chance of getting a job. So my best suggestion is, if you can afford to study in those top rated university, and then you can afford to pay for your expenses, and you can afford to pay for all your whatever the tuition fees or any other fees, or during those 1 year, 1.5 year, in case if you don't find a job in part-time in campus. Imagine you find a job is fine, but you always think in a way that what happens if I don't get a job? So you have to come to United States with that kind of thinking that yes, if I don't get a job, still I can pay for my expenses. So if you keep make your mind like that, and you come to United States, you study properly. You can in a way, like if you don't work part time is also good. You know why? You really concentrate on studies, and you will have a lot of time. When you start working on a part time jobs, obviously, I mean, you make money. You concentrate on more making money than the concentrating on studies. So such a way that is good thing that you work hard, finish your masters, and you will land up in a very good job. So this is what I wanted to share in this video. Just a quick recap. If the people want to study in a lower grade universities, I mean, coming to United States this year is worthless. If you really want to study in a top-rated university, yes, you're always welcome to the United States, and you will land up in a very good job. Okay, friends, if you like this video, please like, share, subscribe to my channel. Thank you.